and hi everyone. Today I want to discuss about genetically modified foods, term for GMF. GMF basically are produced from organisms that have had their genes altered to introduce traits not through natural selection. Genetically modified foods, mostly fruits and vegetables, have been commercially available since 1994. Modifying the genetic code of a fruit, vegetable, or animal involves introducing a gene from another organism.
Next, we will go through to the value of GMF. GM food technology have applied Masalih Mursalah, which for public interest. Majority of ulama unanimously agree that Al-Quran, Hadith, Ijma, and Qiyas are the prime sources of the law in Islamic jurisprudence. Secondly, Daruriyat. Daruriyat includes the preservation of religion, property, life, reason, and lineage. For example, tomato. Tomato is one of the vegetables that very easy to retain. So, the GMF helps to make the tomato to stay fresh. Lastly, we have Hajiat. Hajiat, let us know, is the necessary that we need in daily life. But not in the luxury thing. So, the benefit of GMF are to improve the quality of food that is cultivated, more simpler to grow, and cheaper prices in the market.
Okay, for the next part is justification. Okay, for this section, I would like to pull or to mention the 3 points that we have brought up to this section, which is what we produce, how we produce, and for whom we produce. So, the first thing first, I would like to say about what we produce. So, the innovation that we produce or we brought out for this assignment is genetically modified foods, or also known as GM food. So, what is GM food? GM food have had their DNA changed using genes from the other plants or the other smaller organism. In addition, this innovation could be done with plants, animals, bacteria, and other very small organisms. So, the next part is I would like to tell you about how we produce the GM food. So, the process to create GM food is different than selective breeding. This involves selecting plants with desired traits and breeding them. Over time, this results in offspring with those desired traits. So, last one is for whom we produce this innovation. So, the targeted, the for whom we produce is the one and only is our citizen or the population, because the World Health Organization or WHO have been stated that GM food have currently available on the international market, have passed safety assessment, are not likely to present risk or harm for human health. In addition, no effects on human health have been shown as a result of the consumption of such food by the general population in the countries where they have been approved. So, I think for the concluding, that I have mentioned, WHO also approve and agree that GM food is not harming and is good for the population.
So today I will talk about process of GMF. So first, making a GM plant requires transfer of DNA into a plant cell. One of the methods used to transfer DNA is to coat the surface of small metal particle with the relevant DNA fragment and bombard the particle into the plant cells. So the second, how the bacteria is transferred. Another method is to use a bacteria or virus. There are many viruses and bacteria that transfer their DNA into a host cell as a normal part of their life cycle. For GM plant, the bacteria most frequently used is called agrobacteria tumefission. The gene of interest is transferred into the bacterium and the bacterial cell then they transfer the new DNA to the genome of the plant cell.
GM stands for genetically modified, which is the process of changing the genes of a living thing to alter its characteristics. For example, plants can be genetically modified to help them grow in areas where water is scarce or to be more resistant to pests. Some of the most common crops that are modified are soybean, maize, and cotton. The United States is the top producer of GM crops in the world, followed by Brazil and Argentina. In Africa, GM crops are grown commercially in South Africa, Sudan, Egypt, and Burkina Faso. Genetically modified foods are controversial because critics say the technology is messing with nature.
Allah said in Surah Al-Ma'idah in verse 88, "Eat of the things which God hath provided for you, lawful and good, but the God in whom you believe." What we can deduce from this ayat is that Allah orders us not only eating halal food, but good food as well. And Allah also said in Surah An-Nisa verse 119, God did curse him, but he said, I will take of your servants a portion marked off. I will mislead them and I will create in them false desires. I will order them to slit the ears of cattle and to deface the fair nature created by God. Whoever forsaking God takes Satan for a friend has a surety suffer a loss that is manifest. From this ayat is a warning from Allah that any mean to unnecessary change of the creation of Allah will make one subject to the curse of Allah and His Prophet. However, if the change falls under the category of essential type daruriyat, so such a change and modification is permissible. For instance, if the genetic engineering is conducted to prevent from harm and to reduce reliance on pesticides and herbicides which damage the environment, such an experiment is permissible and is in line with the principle of Sharia that is promoting welfare and preventing from harm.